Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bullish or Bearish. My name is Tony Chu. I'm here with my sister Angela, and we're from Success Options Group. And we're bringing you another great episode where we talk about the hot financial topics in the world right now and give you both sides of the situation.
So today we're actually covering something that I find very interesting because there are so many legitimate reasons for both sides that it's really going to be a great conversation, because we're going to talk about investing, and we're going to talk about passive and active, and this is going to be something that's going to be like really touch all of us, because I'm taking the passive side, because one of the things that we all have to admit is that the majority of people have to work. You have like a regular job and you're spending all your time, all of your energy, like doing your job, making your paycheck. And like, if you don't have like the knowledge about investing, if you don't have that education and you still want to invest, I mean, just your job gives you a 401k, that counts as investing too. The thing is that at the very least, you should be passively investing. You should be investing in your, 401k, and you should be like investing in things that, you can just kind of like in the stocks, buy and hold, something simple, not too complicated, but still lets your money make money for you.
Okay, so I hear that point of view, right? And it's one of those that you hear a lot. Now, I think where I would come from is this idea that it's a full-time kind of job to be an active investor, right? And I think I can disagree completely with that concept, because, great, yeah, you have a job, but I think the misnomer is that people think that you have to be like a day trader. You have to be constantly looking at charts in order to be active. And the biggest thing about being active and knowing or picking and choosing your investments is that you actually know what you're investing in, versus you're just picking some kind of random fund that has things that are equally distributed.
Okay, so you're talking about that, but the thing is, when I think of active, investing, I usually think of things that are more involved. I mean, there are still ways to kind of almost passively still like, it's not quite active, it's still more passive, but still like invest, because like you're saying, it's not necessarily day trading for being active, but usually you have to do a lot more work. You need to like do a lot more education. You need to like actually know what you're doing so that you can pick, what actually works for your personality, for your mindset, for your risk tolerance. And I mean, a lot of people, the way they do, especially like stock investing, is like, I heard this, and then, okay, so I'm going to try it. And that kind of like investing, like they think that that's active, and that's still not like a good idea, because honestly, if you heard it from somebody else and you're following, oh, I heard this on the news, or somebody told me about this, that's already kind of like, you've already missed the boat. So what you're doing is you're going in at a high point, and then you're wondering, oh, what's going on, whenever, like it's not doing what you thought it was going to do. I mean, when you're going up against kind of like a mindset like that, or if that's what your thought is of, oh, I'm actively investing, that's not quite what I think he means by active investing. And if you don't have that knowledge, that education, it's actually safer to just do the passive stuff while you build up that knowledge, while you build up that experience.
Okay, so this might be going towards that kind of concept, but the thing about active, right, and why I'm really calling it out here is that let's look at the facts that we do know about, right? So I'm going to say, like, inflation is up, right? Your price of everything is going up. Your house or whatever, the values are a little bit elevated, right? And there's a lot of talk, and we've talked about this in prior videos, like the possibility of a recession or a possibility of like a downturn in the various stock market, real estate, or whatever. And when you're passive, you're just going to keep cost averaging in, right? You're just going to keep buying it as it goes down. And me personally, I don't want to lose the capital. right? So if I'm in a passive kind of environment, I have very few choices on what I'm going to do except to sell, right? Sell out of that passive fund. With an active kind of investment portfolio, I have more choices on what I want to do.
So you're talking about choices and like, you know, things that you can do, but that still requires you to have the actual like knowledge or education to be able to make those choices. And some people don't have the time or don't want to commit to the time to having to gain all that knowledge. I mean, that's one reason why people use like big investment firms, is to have somebody else help them manage it. Now, I can understand that mindset because that's very much in the passive mindset, is let somebody else do the work to help you manage it. But we've always stressed in our videos and in our talks and workshops is that even if you're letting somebody else do it, you still have to have the knowledge yourself so you can know if they're doing it well for you, you know, because we've always said, you know, the person who cares the most about your money is still going to be you, not somebody else, right? So while I'm stressing that, you know, passive is sometimes the right choice for some people, you still have to do it the right way, in a sense, you know, because passive can also be, in a sense, a mindset. Because if you know, like one of the things that we always do, like when we're getting to know a client or getting to know somebody in our workshop, is we kind of try to get to know your mindset and like what's your risk tolerance, what's your personality. And one of the things is you have to be able to, in a sense, be dedicated and be kind of like follow a plan and be able to stick to it. If you know your own personality is very risk taking, like prone to making impulse decisions, like you might want to, like, in a sense, start off passive unless somebody else control it, because then you won't impulsively make, you know, like weird decisions that end up like not going the way you want them, until you actually build up that education, build up that experience, so that, you know, you can learn how to make better decisions.
Yeah, no, that makes like, this gets at what we talked about, is like, I would rather be more active in knowing. It's like, so I agree that this economy, a lot of what people have gotten used to is like to allow others to do work for you, right? Let somebody else fix my car, let somebody else you know, like go get my groceries or things like that kind of stuff, right? And it's kind of this service-based economy now, right? Or it's that kind of idea of the job, or I forget, like the Uber kind of economy, right? And while that's good in some respects, I think it leaves you at a disadvantage when things are going against you, right? And that's when you don't have that kind of requisite skill, that requisite knowledge to make better decisions. You're just kind of at the whims. You're at the mercy of your mechanic. It's like, okay, well, that's going to be several $1000s to fix your car. It's like, really? Is that really how this is going to be if I have no idea what's going to happen? And I'm going to go research my car repair anyways, right? So this really gets at the active of, you know, perhaps it's a middle ground here, and that's where we usually wind up with in these videos, is that I don't necessarily want to be doing things on a day-to-day basis, but I do need to have a lot of knowledge in order to be able to make better decisions.
So I really think that what we're coming down to is actually there is no such thing as really passive investing, because if you think about it, passive investing, the way I've described it, is really actually just low activity investing, like low, like it's like less active investing versus what, you know, my brother Tony is talking about, is being more active in it. So actually it's really about finding what's right for you and finding the activity level that actually works for your lifestyle, but also lets you like maximize your returns, you know, because even whenever I'm talking about passive, sometimes I think, well, if I'm doing like a covered call every month, once a month, like I just pick one day every month to do my covered call for the month, like I still feel that's pretty passive, you know. Or if I'm investing in real estate, if I purchase a property and have a property manager manage it for me, I still consider that pretty passive, you know. That's not like active, like actually going and flipping the house myself, or, actually actively going out and wholesaling them, So really what it is what actually works for your lifestyle.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So, I mean, that's what this really comes down to is, as Angela said before, the person that cares the most about your money is you, right? So make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, sign up for one of our workshops, and we'll figure out what's the right path for you and what should you be doing with your investment.